All right, so how about an African bloodline, right? I got this idea kind of from this guy named Black Couch Booking. Shout out to Black Couch Booking, right? He's kind of the first person to give me this idea. But Oba Femi, Apollo Cruz, Omas as like the Nigerian bloodline, right? With Oba Femi being like the Roman Reigns, Omas being the muscle, and Apollo Cruz kind of being like the right hand man, right? Now, just hear me out. This group starts in NXT and they continue on as a group all the way onto the main roster, right? Now, Omos and Apollo Crews are already main roster guys, but it doesn't even feel that way anyway. Like, they don't show up, they do nothing, and if they're there, Apollo Crews is there to, like, get his ass beat by Jacob Fatu, like, walking through a fucking, like, security monitor or something. And then Omos is just not on TV at all. So I actually think this would give them something to do right now on NXT. NXT kind of needs a group like this also because NXT, I know a lot of people say like it's good and all, but I tried to watch it and here and there. It's not good enough, right? It's not like a good enough story going on down there right now. And I think this can be a good story, right? So you have Apollo Crews debut on NXT or whatever, right? And Apollo Crews challenges Oba Femi to a match, you know, because before Oba Femi was running like with the whole ruler gimmick, and he's like the Nigerian prince, the Nigerian king or whatever. Apollo Crews actually like had this gimmick in the pandemic, right? So he can come back and say like, I'm the real Nigerian king or the Nigerian prince. I forget what they call themselves, but I'm the real Nigerian or whatever, right? They have the match. Oba Femi obviously destroys him, right? And Oba Femi basically beats Apollo Crews into submission, similar to how Roman Reigns did Jey Uso. And Apollo Crews becomes Oba Femi's like right-hand man or whatever, right? You're basically following the bloodline verbatim. But a lot of stories in WWE's past, they have repeated themselves. Like they have copy and pasted stories before. So this is nothing new, right? But after Oba Femi destroys Apollo Crews, he established himself as a dominant heel, like really, really established himself as a heel. He's not trying to be like a tweener. He's a real bad guy. And you build up a bunch of baby faces on NXT to like kind of try to take him down and Apollo Crews down. You know, he can later maybe add another like Nigerian or something. I don't think there's any more Nigerians after Apollo Crews, right? I don't even know. The Keanu Carver dude, this was kind of be interesting and kind of funny too because he was like shitting on the bloodline a little bit on Twitter. But I don't know. I haven't really thought about him as an addition to this, right? But at some point in this NXT title reign, Omos gets added to the group, right? And you have all the baby faces of NXT like trying to come together to take down this African power structure, this Nigerian bloodline, right? They eventually do it, and then Oba Femi is moved on to the main roster. Now, this would be like one of the few times that an NXT storyline should carry over onto the main roster, right? You carry this storyline over onto the main roster and you push Oba Femi immediately. Like, you don't have him do a year of filler bullshit, right? That is considered like paying his dues. He doesn't pay his dues, though. He comes on and immediately like wins the title, like an Intercontinental title, right? And he continues this run as the Intercontinental Champion all the way up until like he becomes the World Champion. Then you can kind of like do the turn or something like that with him and this like group or whatever, right? But that feels like a real layered, long-term storyline, right? Two dudes who actually kind of need Oba Femi's help right now, and Apollo Crews and Omos. He brings them from the fucking bottom all the way to the top right with him, and you can tell that story along the way. Oba Femi needs, he doesn't need this to keep him interesting, but this is something that can always keep him interesting, like this. And this would be a cool group, bro. It gives Apollo Crews and Omos something to do, right? They're doing nothing else. If you don't give them this, give me a better idea for fucking Apollo Crews and Omos. If you think I'm talking bullshit, give me a better idea in the comment section. Then that's for them, right? So, like I said, I really hope that they do this. It's a far-fetched idea, but the three dudes are Nigerian. I think you should do it, right? You like to pair everybody else that's the same race up with each other anyway. So why not just do it again here and actually have a real long-term built story for it? You know what I'm saying? Maybe Apollo Crews can become a single star down the line, similar like to Jey Uso. Or Omos can become a single star down the line, right? the point is Oba Femi is the key, right? Oba Femi is gonna be like the one to get them there. The only thing is though, there's no like Paul Heyman aspect here, right? I don't have like an African manager that I can think of right now, except like Prince Nana in AEW, but he's in AEW. MVP would have been good too, right? But he's also in AEW, right? WWE has no like black manager dude that can kind of like be the talker for them. So if I come up with the person who like can kind of do this, I wish I had. This would make the video so much fucking better if I had like a Paul Heyman. But like, let's say Prince Nana was not in AEW, right? I would have Prince Nana be like the talks person for this group or something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that shit. Just this like crazy idea I was thinking of. Shout out to Black Couch Booking for birthing the idea, kind of though. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that, y'all. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.